What's up, guys? Corey has no life here. How you doing out there? We are here today to do episode number one of our Noob Formula One 2019 career mode. This was a bit of a struggle for me because I'm mostly an
In
iRacing kind of a
F1 2019,
driver,
you'll be invited to
and
start your
this
career by
was
selecting a Formula
well
2
out of
team.
my comfort zone.
Driving for this
So
team, you'll
let's
experience
get
some
into
key
the
moments
Formula
of the
2 here,
Formula
and
2
we'll see how we
season,
go.
a thrill-packed racing championship in its own right, and the springboard to Formula 1. At the end of this feeder series, your choice of driver academy and your performance in F2 will determine the terms of the contracts offered by the teams as you embark upon your career in Formula 1 and begin to write your own chapter of motorsport history.
Now we're going to the team selection here. I wasn't actually too sure on which team I should go for. I was thinking about Dams and thinking about ART. I was thinking, yeah, they're both very, very real possibilities. And in the end, for this, I actually chose Carlin because I just thought that the logo looked cool. And you see, I'm sitting here. I was molding over it for a while, but I do eventually actually pick Carlin here for Formula Two. And then we had the driver academy screen. We're not going to show you what I picked, but we'll show you the choices. You'll see in episode 2 which one I actually picked. This just helps you have a standing when it comes to the next lot of races when you actually make it into Formula 1. And then we're just setting up the weekend structure. We're doing the full practice and the full qualifying, 25% race with the formation lap. And because I'm not too vastly experienced with Formula 1 games, I whacked the AI driver level all the way down to 75%. After all, this is a noob career mode. I'm pretty bad. Let's be real. If you're wondering what assists that I use throughout this, I do have driving line on corners only. I am running the medium traction, and that's about it. I did run the first Formula 2 race here with the no traction assist, strict corner cutting rules, full damage, safety car, and I turned the um, timer off for the press just because I hate being absolutely bombarded and have no time to answer questions. It just frustrates me when I've got to make a choice on the spot. So here we go into the first Formula 2 scenario. Now you'll notice that there's no audio coming from the cars when we first jump in here.
Carlin's new driver really commanding the race here.
The first thing I did when I booted up the game was I turned down the music volume, and I think that's what's caused this.
Giving chase. These two have been really scrapping it out for the early wins in the championship. And something's wrong. Butler sees his chance. Some kind of mechanical failure. Picking up speed again. It's unclear what the issue was. Can they still finish this race?
Alright, and here we go into the race. Now, you'll see that there's actually a lot of screen freezes that will happen. I'm not sure whether that's just because I got my graphics up a little bit too high, or whether I just don't have something set up quite right. And I'm also not using the best of editing software here, so things are going to be looking a little bit choppy in places. Here's me just letting Weber go. And from here, I actually was going through. I had 3 laps to hold position, after letting Weaver go, and I actually managed to do that. I held on to the 6th place here. It was a bit of a struggle though. These Formula 2s are a very vastly different beast to drive than the Formula 1 cars in F1 2018, which I played for a couple of weeks before this came out. But yeah, these are very, very different beasts indeed. But after a while, you know, so I'm starting to get the hang of it a little bit. And when we go to the other 2 scenarios that happen, I really start to get a grip on the car there. I tried my best to edit out all of my little mistakes, of which there are many. I just didn't want you guys to see how much of a noob I really am. So we're making it look good. But these driving lines, they I don't really think they give a full justice of how to drive. I mostly just got it on because these Formula 1 games, the cars brake so much differently to anything that I've ever driven on iRacing. So I had to sit there and really just try and learn these braking markers with the driving line on, just to try and get a hold of it. As we see here, we've skipped through to the last lap, and you can see I'm still on P6 in front of De Vries. And I'm just holding them off. In fact, I've got a little bit of a train going on behind me here. As Weaver has actually carved his way through the field. He's P3, I think it is. Devin Butler with the win, which is a little bit annoying. You'll find out why that's annoying very shortly. We've come across the line, and that is P6 in our first ever run in the Formula 2 here. As I said, a very, very different car to drive.
So Russian Time have won it, and what a great race it was. Davide, what do you think made the difference here?
I think what them
As you can see here, everything's a little bit jittery. It didn't actually look this jittery in the game. I think that was just my OBS software there not quite handling the game as well as I thought it would. Hopefully it clears up later on,
Another race and another
whether it is just the game or whether it may be my software. Might just need to look at seeing if there's any updates or anything.
And a well-deserved win.
There's our teammate up there in P3. Staying away from the winner, 2nd place in their shenanigans.
After this round of the World Championship, here's how things look in the driver's table. It's a good result for Devin Butler, who moves further ahead at the top of the table. Now then, Davide Valsecchi, who would you say was your driver of the day?
Well, after a drive like that, it's got to be Alessio Lorandi. Very clean, very smooth. I can be really pleased with that one.
And here's how things are shaping up in the Teams Championship.
There you are.
And here we go. Now we're up to meeting Emma and Claire.
Which means I was able to secure a quick interview. Okay.
But just this little interaction here.
Remember.
Just the look on Claire's face there was kind of like, yeah, I'm going to be friendly to this bitch, but you know, I don't really like her.
Okay. I think we're ready. Great.
And now we go and meet Claire for our first interview.
If that's true, you'll be doing plenty of these. Just remember, be yourself. And the more you can give me, the better this will go. Right, stand here. Turn a little this way for me. Perfect. Ready? An exciting race today. Let's get your perspective. So you and Lucas are new to the team. How are you settling in?
I wanted to try and be as sportsmanlike as possible with these answers. So I'm pretty sure here I went for the team is doing a fantastic job. It helps Lucas Weber is an exceptional
so how
driver.
did you feel about being ordered to give up the position to Lucas?
And I put here, Weaver is obviously faster than me. No reason to hold him up. Because it's true, he was so much faster than me because I had no idea what I was doing.
Great. Well, that's everything.
Hey, look.
And now we see why we hate Devon.
But it was the right choice. It was good driving.
Yeah, that's how I describe it, mate. Just good, not great. 1 in 6. 1 in 6 makes the league to F1. The other 5 are still watching their less talented teammates collect all their points. Shame, really. A lot of great drivers never get their chance because they do it all for the team.
Those teams got us here.
Yeah, but it's the drivers that take the risk. We should get the rewards. You ever want to race in F1? That's how winners think.
And remind me, how many F1 races have you won?
You watch this.
I just love that little bit of banter
In
there
this
between these two.
championship, I'll be the one lifting the trophy, and I won't use my teammates to nick the podium.
Okay, I'm out. You believe what you want, Devon, but it's still early days.
He's either very clever or you're just a pushover. You really think if the situation was reversed, he'd do the same for you? You want to start looking out for
I
yourself.
do
No one
indeed
else
think
will.
he would. But that's just me. Maybe I'm just a pushover after all. Now we're going to the second scenario here. At the Red Bull ring. Again, my apologies for there not being any audio in this section. It's just, yeah, as far as I can tell, it's because I turned the music down. But this is an incredible battle that I was having with Devon that I actually had no control over. But it looks like we were fighting pretty hard.
Look at them go! Devon Butler locked in wheel-to-wheel racing with his championship rival, desperate to shut them down and stop them getting past. And there's contact. Butler simply left them nowhere to go. There was just no way for them to have avoided that.
And when I first saw
look,
people
there's
with the
significant
early
damage.
access playing this game, I
Not
thought
sure if
that
was down to recklessness
we'd have to
or
drive
sheer
around the rest
aggression.
of that lap
I'm
with
sure
no
the
front
stewards are
wing
gonna
and
have
then
something
come
to
in
say
for the stop
very
and
shortly.
keep going. But I'm glad that that wasn't the case because with how terrible I am, that would have been a disaster. And we're going to take control of it from here. And all we're going to do is try and mitigate the distance between us and Devon. You see there was a little bit of a jump there. And I accidentally changed the camera as well. From the top of the halo there to the old T-cam. And I didn't even realize it until I was watching all this in editing. And this is where Devon comes in and gets his penalty. But all we're trying to focus on right now is trying to catch up to Gunther. As I said, I've got the AI set to 75%, which I think is right about around my skill level.
You can still catch him. You can still beat him.
I was shifting down the third there. You'll notice later on, when we jump ahead a little bit, that I start using fourth through that penultimate corner. It's just a comfort thing with these cars. I just wasn't comfortable to begin with. And yeah, once I started getting to that comfort level, it started to really click. So we get the DRS on Gunther. Couldn't get the move done through here. But we're going to get the second DRS zone through this section, along the back. And he's going defensive. The AI in this game are amazing. And we get the big outside pass on him. But he does come back at us. Couldn't get away with that outside pass. Just ran out of talent in the braking zone. which does suck because that was probably our best shot at maybe catching Devon. Gunther there leaving me no room at the apex. Had my nose up there, but had to back out of it. Back down to third again. But we got the DRS again on him here on the main straight. We pull to the right and try and squeeze him over to the left as much as we could so we can open up this corner and have the best run. And now we make the march towards Giotto. I think that is Giotto.
Devon is 3 places ahead of you right now.
We've jumped ahead to the penultimate lap now, as we're making our march towards Giotto. You see, Devon's still not that far in front of us realistically, but I just didn't have the skill to catch him. I'm going to be completely real here. That's how bad I am. I just could not catch him.
Devon's P7 at the moment.
But I've definitely started to get the hang of these Formula 2 cars now in this particular moment in the race. See me start to get a lot more aggressive, especially on the curbs. And there's that mystical fourth gear corner. Gained so much time after I started using fourth gear there. We've got the DRS on Giotto now. He's going defensive. We go for a late outside dive. And what a move around the outside into turn 1. We did get a track limits warning, but that was it. And what a way to start the last lap that was. A lot of wheel spin there on the exit of the corner. Almost sent me off into that inside wall there. But the main thing is we're in the points here. P9, as we're chasing on the back of Mary. We're not going to catch Mary, unfortunately, but I did give it the good old college try. And as you can see, Devon was actually struggling to advance beyond 7th as well. He just could not get going at all. And here we go to cross the line after it's already been run and won to finish 9th.
Well done, good finish. You stepped up and achieved what
Now
we
we just
asked.
got to get
Good
ready
job.
for the interview and the cutscene.
Here they are then, coming into Parc Fermé. What an excellent win for the Dams team. So, Davide, what did you make of that?
Well, it was a bit of a roller coaster, I think. Absolutely.
Alexander
congratulations,
Albon standing
Albon.
tall and
It was a
proud with the
spectacular
win
race
there.
And a fantastic drive from our winner. I think, though, that after the race, there's going to be a lot of eyes on Devon Butler regarding that collision. He's been very lucky today. In more than
Nicholas
one way.
Latifi.
Lucky to have walked away. Lucky
I
to
love
have
saying
only
names
received
like that,
a penalty.
Latifi.
It's a shame his rival
Just so much
wasn't
fun to say.
equally lucky today.
And I can see our drivers making their way out now. It's been a sublime team performance, and it's the culmination of a lot of hard work. Dams are your winners today.
At this point in time, I was very excited to see where
So
this
then,
was going
it's
to
time
go.
to see how this result affects the Drivers' Championship. It's a good result for Devon Butler.
As we
who
have a look
moves
at the result
further
there, we
ahead
got
at the
9th.
top.
Weber was down at 14th. And I was just a little bit frustrated at the end of that one.
Bad luck today.
And I was
That must
actually
be
going to try and
incredible.
alt-tab out.
It seems
That's
to
why
me
the
that
audio
collision
is a
with
little bit
Devon
stuffed up
clearly
here.
cost you a lot of time. Are you disappointed with the final result?
Here I was going to be a little bit of a dickhead. I said that it's outrageous that Devon only got the 5-second penalty, because it's true. He
So
should
did you
have
ever
gotten
think
a
you'd get
lot
the
more
place
than
back
that.
from Devon?
And here, I think I just went for the bottom option there. I wanted to catch him, but
I've
just
seen that you
couldn't.
and Lucas have been picking
The
up
gap
a
was
lot
too
of
big for
points
my skill.
recently. What do you think of your championship chances?
I'm not sure. I can't remember which option here I went. Oh, I must have gone that one on the right. Oh no.
Great.
Ah, that's
Well,
right. I went for the
everything.
teamwork one. Because it was a complete team effort that we were at that point, since we only had the 3 scenarios we were racing.
Hey,
This
Devon.
is where we confront Devon.
Stop.
Not now, I'm busy.
Hey, what are you doing out there? Seriously,
I'm gonna celebrate my excellent drive.
we saw what you did. It was reckless. You should have been black flagged.
Yeah, and I wasn't because it was my line. You were in my space. You shouldn't have been. Next time, stay out of my way.
No, someone could have been hurt.
And that didn't happen, so what's your problem?
My problem is that your actions out there are too dangerous.
Listen, contact happens, okay? I took my penalty, but I kept it focused, kept it smooth, and came out on top. That's racing. It's a problem to you every time I make a tough move. You want to play race director? Then quit driving and take the job. Until then, I don't owe you anything.
Devon, you don't get it. It's not me you should be apologizing to.
Look, you grab your space on the track, and then it's all or nothing. That's just how it goes. And anyway,
And just like that, I really want to land one on his nose, because ooh,
chin up.
that just annoys me so much. He's just lucky there's cameras in the pits, or else I would have just absolutely slobber knockered him. Now we're into the final scenario. Now I actually, I will admit that I did restart this one a few times, but because I was trying out a couple of different setups. Now I'm no genius when it comes to setting up one of these Formula 1 cars. I don't know what the hell I'm doing. But I took a crack at it, and I found something that kind of worked, and that's the one that I ended up sticking with.
Okay,
There's a lot of trial and error involved in it.
All you have to do is finish in the points ahead of Devon.
And
next
here
time
we
see
go.
each other, you'll be the F2 world champion. No pressure there.
5-3
Good
wings. And you saw very quickly there what was going on with the setup. Now we go to the 5 red lights. And we are off and racing. We get a good initial launch, but then we bogged down horribly. I'm not sure why my start was so bad, but we go and send it up on the inside of 3 wide, 4 wide almost with that car on my inside. And that is us immediately up into P7 here, right behind our teammate Weber. As we come up to this tight section that leads to the first of the 2 long back straights. We look for a move on the inside of Weber there, our teammate. Couldn't quite get our nose up there. So now it's just all about trying to mitigate the time loss here, get in these draft and catch back up to these guys. But I figure that we're Australian, Daniel Ricciardo's Australian. Let's do a big dive bomb. And just like that, with a little excuse me, thank you, we are up into P5. Big oversteer there on the exit. I was actually surprised I didn't spin out there. So we got very lucky on that point. And now we're marching towards Russell, who has Devon right in front of him. Now the one thing that I didn't like about doing this particular scenario is that I am terrible at this track. This was probably one of the tracks where I was the worst at in F1 2018 for those couple of weeks that I was playing it. So for me to gain any speed at all, it was quite the struggle. But I actually surprised myself a few times here. Here's a big track extension, which I was actually surprised I never got warning for there. I do have the strict corner cutting rules on, but I never once got a warning for running wide in that penultimate corner. You see now, we are so close to Russell right now. Using every inch of the track that we can. Go for a big send it, lock up both front wheels, and now we're right behind Butler. Drifting the car around the tight section here before we finally attempt to get traction on the exit of the hairpin. And now it's just all about catching and passing Butler. We've jumped forward to lap number 3 to where we are right on Butler's tail here. And DRS is active now. As you can see, there's yellow flags in the background behind us. We turn on the DRS and Gunther is out of the race now. And now we start the charge towards Butler. Devon, the biggest thorn in my side that I've ever friggin' seen. He's got DRS, I've got DRS. I'm in his slipstream. He goes left and we're going to send it around the outside of him at the end of the straight, which comes the inside for the second portion of that. And we get him clean and clear. And I didn't even have to punt him to get around him. So I was thinking at this point that I should just sit behind Markelov and just chill out, because I've done my job, I'm in front of Devon. But then something miraculous happened, and you'll see that when we cross the line here. I didn't know it, but I was running purple sectors there, and we've just got fastest lap of the race with a 56.111. I'm like, well, if I'm doing fastest laps of the race, maybe I should push it a little bit and see what we can make of this. The Formula 2s are all equal cars. I did have a setup, but you know, it was my bodgy setup, which was kind of terrible, but kind of also not so bad. Let's see if we can get the win here. Now, these guys just got infinitely better traction than me on the exit of the corner there, but I made up for that by just being very ruthlessly aggressive in the braking zones. As you'll see here, we go for another big dive bomb, another double lock up, and take second place over Markelov. And now we're on to try and catch up to Nick de Vries. I would like to say that this was a battle that lasted for the rest of the race, but it wasn't. After a little bit, we just sat behind him here for about half a lap, and then we really started to pull the pressure on him on those long straightaways, because that was just where I was having the easiest time with catching up and passing people. All these slower speed corners just weren't too terribly good for me. As Jeff updated us to say that Devon was still in P4. I'm not sure why Jeff actually felt the need to keep updating me at this point, as we go for another fastest lap at 56.105. Yeah, it's like, you know, it's job done. I don't need to know where Devon is now. I'm in front of him. And this is all I needed to do, was I just needed to finish in front of him.
Devon's in P4 at the moment.
We saw a little bit of a screen freeze there. Coming up to the back of the Vries. We are in the prime seat to get around him. A little bit of oversteer on the exit. But we're going to have the draft. We're going to have the DRS. And he's going to go defensive. So we're just going to send it around the outside. And we've actually overtaken him before the braking zone.
Great maneuver. You made it look easy.
Damn right I made that look easy. Some would say that maybe I've set the AI too low. Others would say it's only because I'm using the driving line.
P4 at the moment.
All I can say is, hey, it's probably both. As we've jumped now to the last lap of the race, as you can see, we kept the Vries behind us here. I just didn't want to waste any time in boring you guys with the lap of soloness, because there was no point where Nick de Vries actually attempted to pass on me. I just managed to keep him at bay the entire time. As we are in the final complex of corners now. Come around the penultimate corner, track extend again, still no warning, no penalty. Come around the final corner, the checkered flag is out. And we get the win and the championship. The achievements are unlocked.
It's been my privilege over the years to witness a number of great
And we
sporting
celebrate
events,
an
and
epic
here's
win
another
with a
to add
burnout.
to that prestigious list. It's the ultimate dream for any racing driver. We have a new Formula 2 world champion. A great win then for the Carlin team today.
Very happy crew sitting there behind the
Talk to me,
computers.
Davide. Was it everything you hoped for?
And what can I say? I'm just that good. Sorry, I couldn't hold a straight face when I was saying that.
Locked in fierce competition all season, and to see it comes down to head-to-head battle for the line like this, well, this kind of things doesn't happen very often.
Hey, I think I just saw
throughout the championship, but today
X-Matty G sitting there in the pits. I didn't know that I had WTF1 working on the car. That's actually kind of cool. As we come now for the final set of cutscenes and interview. The crew very happy.
That result
Now
also
it should be
seals the
time for
Formula
the
2
interview with
World
Claire.
Championship title. Congratulations to our winner after an incredible season. We see a new name at the top of the championship table as we reach the end of the race weekend.
It's just crazy that my best was 5/10 faster than the next best, which was George Russell sitting there in fifth.
Had incredible pace at times, so don't think anyone
We
did
went
a better
and checked
job
out the
today.
standings just for the hell of it.
Carlin have done it. This result seals their victory, and they are team champions at last.
I got
And
the win,
after
Devon
all that
Butler
excitement,
second,
I think it's
Lucas
time for a
Weber
lie
in
down.
third,
Thanks for joining us,
and
we'll see
Carlin.
you when
We
Formula 2
we weren't ever going to lose the constructors there. We were no chance of losing constructors championship.
First of all, congratulations. You must be thrilled. Wow, you're the driver's champion. How does it feel?
Now here we go with the last set of interviews for this episode.
So that was a thrilling
It's
end to the
absolutely
season.
amazing. The team
How
have
does it
worked
feel
hard
you?
for this.
Wow, we've been hearing rumours of a possible future for you in Formula One. Care to comment?
And all I can say is I'd love the opportunity to race the best in the world.
Great. Well, that's everything.
And now, it's time for some cutscenes. I would want to see the absolute hate on Devon's face. The hate that he lost that championship to me, of all people.
Congratulations. Enjoy it, because it's the last time it'll ever happen.
Devon, it's okay to be upset. You came very close.
Yeah, we know things would have turned out very differently if I didn't get slapped with that ridiculous penalty.
What is it with you and complaining?
Look, somehow you managed to do a lot of things right today. That's great. You needed the win, I didn't. For me, this was always just a stepping stone to F1. Oh, you two. You got your work cut out for you now that I'm gone. See, you're gonna have to prove to everyone it was more than just luck that got you here.
Sure. Winning one race is luck. Winning the championship is talent.
Really? Next time you use that incredible talent to ram into someone and steal all their points, remember they won't be as forgiving as I am. Well, this has been a lot of fun. I gotta run.
See, he just says that because he's jelly. Still want to punch him in the face, though.
Ciao.
So, with this big win, you're going to be getting a lot of interest.
I hope he ends up for the lowest of the low teams. And he just has constant mechanical failures. That would make my day.
Come on, let's go celebrate.
But seriously, I love the banter between Weber and Devon there. Now we should be moving up to 2 months later. Emma's office in London. And this will actually be where we end out the episode. See, Emma's in an important meeting.
Welcome.
2019 lineup predictions.
Take a seat. It's time we had the big conversation about your next move. Your performance at the F2 Championships last year got you a lot of attention from the Formula One teams.
Now, I'm not sure why this
I'm a
was
bit
so
more
stuttery. It came through so clear in the game, but I guess my recording software just wasn't playing the game with it.
I'm concerned with our choices. They're narrowing as we haven't shown commitment to anyone. Now, as your agent, my advice is to make your decision now. We can worry about comfort and finer points further down the line. I need you to review these. You've earned every single one of these proposals. So take your time, have a read through, and don't get too hung up on specifics. Let's get you a Formula One seat.
Now it's time to choose. And on that note, we are going to end out this episode here, guys. Don't forget, if you guys want to catch some of my live streams, whether it's iRacing or Formula 1, you can catch me over at twitch.tv/CoreyHasNoLife13. We're going to have a Discord link in the description. Thank you guys for coming out. It's been a pretty good start to the F1 2019 Noob career mode. And I actually really look forward to filming some more. So I'll catch you next time, and stay safe.